Let's get to it. You've heard from the minority leader, for instance. He says he's not happy.
You see, when I heard Afenyo Marcus, let me first of all greet Ivan and then your innocent, your cherished viewers. I was going to say,
yeah.
You see, when I heard Afenyo Marcus speak the way he spoke, you see, if you are a political activist and you don't take care, you'll be carried away by the sort of shouting that ordinary supporters give to you, to be making statements that would dent your image and integrity forever and ever. I mean, what Afenyo Markin did does not represent a leader. In fact, he was being led by those who were clapping. My difficulty is not even with Afenyo Markin. My difficulty is with those that were clapping, cheering him on for such a bogus statement. He said he is going to disrespect the judge for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And why was he going to...
Until he does the right thing.
What is the right thing? And what he said, was it the truth? That the reason why he's going to disrespect the judge for the rest of his life was the fact that the judge had remanded Abronye into BNI custody till the case is determined. Was that not the reason?
Yes.
But was that what really took place in court? Was that what the ruling actually said? And why would he not man up to come and apologize to the people of this country? Because I have the ruling here. And the ruling, according to the judge, and let me, with your permission, let me read.
Yes.
He said, the accused is hereby remanded into BNI custody to reappear before the court at the next adjourned date. The prosecution is also ordered to conclude their work and file disclosures within 14 days to ensure speedy trial of this matter. The case is adjourned to 27th of May 2026. Why in this ruling does it state that Abronye was to be kept in what you call a BNI cells till the case is determined? But you had a whole minority leader who had the benefit of this ruling go and peddle an obvious untruth. And in the Parliament of Ghana, as a leader of Parliament of Ghana, your only word, your words must be the truthful position of
but he was defending, you know, what was going on.
Now, if you are defending, why must you lie to the people of this country? He said the judge does not know his law.
So if you're doing this, you're doing this to Abronye.
Yes.
You also come on TV.
Let me tell you.
Speak on the media. I mean, are you not worried?
Why must I be worried? Why must I be worried?
Are you being fair to Abronye?
Abronye himself, listen to the New Patriotic Party, whether or not they, I mean, unless the party wants to tell me that the statement that they issued on the 30th of June 2025 was not an honest statement. On the 30th of June 2025, the party itself, through its General Secretary, Justin Kodbia, had the cause of distancing itself from the vituperations by Abronye. The blatant insult of Archbishop Duncan Williams. For no offense, Abronye could not pinpoint what exactly the Archbishop did to him to deserve such insults. Call him all manner of names that I do not want to repeat here. To the extent, the party said they were distancing itself. What the party first sought to do was to hold him before the disciplinary committee, because your own constitution as the New Patriotic Party says that anybody that brings the name of the party into dispute will face disciplinary actions.
Yeah, but today you have the General Secretary of the party come to his defense because he's not happy at how they are treating.
No, the General Secretary doesn't mean it. He just playing his role as a General Secretary. Because remember, the General Secretary himself, Justin Kodbia, has had the course of reporting Abronye's attitude or conduct to the disciplinary committee after Abronye took him to the cleaners. I mean, what sort of politics is this? That you go on and go and insult and think that will give you votes? I heard one of the women activists in court openly telling the entire world that the National Democratic Congress won election 2024 by virtue of insulting. I was like, what? I can't believe it. That this one believes that the NDC won election 2024 because their what do you call it? Their communicators were insulting. Does insult bring food on people's table? People are in their homes not getting jobs to do. You were messing the economy. You were digging holes at 97 million. You were supplying state resources.
So whatever the case, free speech should not be targeted. I guess that's the point of the NPP. You hear from the likes of Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, who says that our democracy is under siege based on what is happening.
I mean, you shouldn't have written. The last time I came here, I gave him a friendly advice that the people around him, they don't wish him well. His handlers, they are leading him astray. The very statement he himself issued, he was also threatening like Abronye. except that he put his own on paper. If you are the flag bearer of a political party, as a matter of fact, in the last 8 years, as we discussed, he was the chair of the police council, that he could not reform. Now the police administration is taking on people that they believe have committed crime. We have provisions in our various statutes or laws that can overturn whatever crime an institution commits. Afenyo himself that was speaking. You played a voice. I'm very surprised that there is another voice of his in Parliament in 2024 when he was admonishing everyone that felt aggrieved with any decision of the court to go to the appellate body, and that nobody, it must never be said, these are his words, it must never be said that the judiciary is under the control of the executive. That was Afenyo in 2024. As a matter of fact, that position was re-echoed by the then President Akufo Addo when he was interviewed by France 24, that he as a president has no power to be arresting people, and that is the attitude or behavior of political activists that gets them into difficulties. So why would you then just 2024 and we are in 2026 have a 360 degrees and have a change of position? When as a matter of fact, you Afenyo, you were a lawyer, and that when you know that a judge has not behaved within the confines of the law, there is an appellate body that you can appeal to get the decision turned, you decided to follow foot soldiers and go and disgrace yourself like this. I mean, and we are still here. Oh, they are foot soldiers who don't know their left from right, who are clapping. Let's tell them. You understand? As I'm sitting here, if you come and arrest me wrongfully, I will sue you. Me, I will not make a political case.
No, but there were party executives there.
Who are the party executives?
Very senior people.
Who are talking as who are they? And this is not Buga. Buga is not a senior member of the party.
Oh,
Buga.
But you know him. He's you worked with him.
I mean, Buga. He's the second vice.
Yes.
He Buga
is the vice of the NPP.
Though he Buga as a vice chair of the NPP. Remember what he did with, to media general.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to say to you that he's not you know,
he's worse than the Syria callers and the foot soldiers. Worse. You see, leaders are supposed to lead followers. Lead them right. You see, as a result of the recklessness of Abronye, now a young lady also decides to follow suit. Goes to threaten the president because they feel that it's normal. I mean, how can you normalize such nonsense? And adults that are supposed to call people to order will be there defending it. You understand? So clearly, I'm not surprised that Abronye continues to do that, because remember, in September of 2025, this is Abronye's own request for political asylum and security protection.
That document I've seen on social media, but we cannot verify.
No, that is him. Abronye himself officially wrote to about 8 embassies.
Yeah, but is that verified?
No, it's a verified document.
Because I've always had my own.
No, it's a verified document. Abronye, this is a regional chairman, New Petoti region. He provided his email address to immigration refugees. Yes. So right from last year, Abronye had given us indication that he wants to leave this country and settle not in ordinary countries. So the least of the countries he mentioned was Cote d'Ivoire, and because that one he can easily stick it to Bono region and eat fufu and go back. He didn't really make the rest. Germany, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Canada, USA, and Britain. These are countries that he wants to settle. When he applied for refugees or asylum status and he was told that there was no foundation, there was no basis for this application, then he then realized that no, then I'm not doing more. I have to do more so that I'm arrested, and based on that, I can have my asylum status. That's what he's doing, and he's dragging the whole political party into the mud. Now the party is in the ditch with him. How to take yourself out will be a tall order. For instance, how would a new patriotic party take itself out of the insult on Duncan Williams, the Archbishop Duncan Williams? How are they going to do that? Even if the party is going to, how would the flag bearer who sat on concern, aloof, and allowed Abronye to insult Duncan Williams by extension?
Be fair to Dr. Mahamadu.
How am I going to refer to
you called Abronye as an adult. So when he makes his statement, he stand by his statement. Why are you rubbing in Dr.
That even makes it worse that in an unlikely event that the Ghanaian makes mistake and trusts the destiny of this country into his hands, he cannot control his people.
How?
He cannot bring them to order. Because clearly...
Alan doesn't control your speech.
No, but if I do something wrong, Alan must be able to. If he's not there, he's not a leader. If clearly it's something that you do not believe in, that is wrong by any spheres of imagination, that is wrong to the peace of this country, and you cannot call me to order, then what are you doing? Then you must leave as well. You understand? Remember when Fanti Comedy and the group went and threatened the president, when they said that they were so sad that the plane crash on the 6th of August 2025 did not affect the president. What did the current flag bearer, Mahamadu Bawumia, do? He rather hugged Fanti Comedy. He hugged him, endorsing those reckless statements. Endorsing it. So when the people see, and you just suppose that one with the statement that is issued, that threatening the police administration, that given the opportunity when it comes, you deal with them, then it tells you the mindset of the people of that party.
You know what? I'll come back to you on Abronye specifically.
All right.
Ivan, let's deal with even the record of the government. It's been criticized now, and I've seen some senior journalists and some people even go out to refer to the Media Foundation for West Africa's record on the number of arrests we've seen so far. And the temptation is that you'll be drawn to that conclusion that increasingly the government is picking up a lot more people.
Yeah, Blessed, let me say good morning to your cherished viewers. Like I mentioned the last time, nothing has happened in this country. Yes, there are pockets of instances and issues that have come up. Certain individuals have just decided to package certain nonsense, exaggerate it, and sell it to feeble minds. That is what I see. Because you are a journalist. Have you been arrested?
I'm doing my work with Solo, so we're here doing anybody. But it doesn't take away the fact.
No.
Ivan, it doesn't take away the fact that some people have been arrested, and I want you.
I know. So you want to talk about free speech, very often it involves around the media, but I'm not sure anybody within the media has been arrested. These are individuals who have just decided to go berserk. You understand? And yes, some of the arrests were unnecessary. I have condemned some of them. For instance, the guy who said Doomso has returned and was totally unnecessary. But there are those that are genuinely threatening to national security. And to a certain extent, I'm also disappointed in the national security for not picking up that gentleman called Mustafa
Salam. But no, it should be behind us.
The gentleman said he will make this country ungovernable. That is treasonable comment. And if we are in a country...
No.
That was reckless and irresponsible. Because
Ivan, you've heard political leaders. Solo, when he was in the NPP, they were making such ungovernable... Yeah, they said...
Solo... I never made those reckless...
Solo is running away from...
No. To say you make a whole nation grant to a halt, that is treasonable.
How is it treason? You never know.
You can't threaten a republic. And when you have no reasonable justification for some of these things, you understand? And you see, I've cautioned Parliament on several instances that Parliament need to be very careful because for the first time, I'm asking them that power of contempt must be dropped immediately because Parliament do not have the moral right to cite anybody for contempt when people within the House are themselves contempt. Look at the way Afenyo Markin spoke. This is somebody who's supposed to be a leader of a political party, a minority leader. Look at the way he spoke to a judge, insulting him, telling people that the judge did not read law. Maybe he read the Quran, but what did he read as a leader? You understand? But you cannot go full-blown and be insulting judges when few...
If you say that someone will not have your respect until he does the right thing...
No, he didn't just say that. He used certain unprintable words that I cannot... I'm expecting Parliament to be up and doing and be whipping some of these people who are going wayward. Because you see, the word honorable is supposed to mean something. You understand? You cannot just be abusing the prefix honorable, giving it to people who don't even deserve it. You understand? Because people are watching, learning from people in Parliament. But if this is the kind of show people are going to put up, it will be like you watching a comedy show. And it's very embarrassing, you understand? Parliament need to purge itself, sanitize itself so that it will draw respect and sanity from the people.
It's on record to have said that look, I don't need the police doesn't need my permission to pick you up. They only need to inform me.
Exactly, and
but he said that already.
But you see, I am looking at that.
MPs are hiding.
I'm looking at the other side where people under the guise of parliamentary immunity go about engaging in some of this nasty stuff. And when they are picked up or when they are called, then the full soldiers will come crying. We need to protect our democracy because the decency of our democracy democracy will determine how long it's going to run. You understand? We cannot allow these people, based on mere emotions, to be subjecting our democracy to this sort of things that we are seeing.
Afenyo Markin as a person. Untouchable. Is that what you're saying?
Who is untouchable?
Judges, we can't criticize them? Okay.
I have always made my position quite clear. This contempt of court thing, for me, that is absolute nonsense. It's primitive. You understand? Because it has outlived its usefulness. Because, and if I insult a judge and you ask me to appear before the same person, it breaches the principles of natural justice. You understand? You cannot be a judge in your own court. Okay. I have overly condemned some of these things. But these people, the question, do they even have the right to even speak against some of these things? Because they were tacit beneficiaries of some of these judicial excesses. Afenyo Markin, for instance, was he not the gentleman who got the Supreme Court to be empaneled within 12 hours on Friday?
Sacred day.
Let's keep the records right. There's no evidence that the Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin was the one who forced the Supreme Court to take.
I didn't say that.
He was the only one seeking redress in court.
But I didn't.
So long he didn't.
I said he got the Supreme Court to be empaneled within a short period.
He got the Supreme Court. There's a difference between going to court and getting the court to do something.
And he benefited. He benefited from it. He succeeded in hijacking the Speaker of Parliament from going ahead to execute his plans, which created a lot of way in this particular country. So Afenyo Markin does not have any moral right to be going about bastardizing, demonizing, insulting judges in this particular country. When we were speaking against the judicial excesses, when people named the judiciary, or how do you call it? They were calling it unanimous, 11 unanimous. The reputation became so dirty. These people, where were they? Because they were beneficiaries of some of these things. I can sit here and condemn what is happening today because I condemn what happened yesterday. But these people, the question is, do you even have the moral right to do that? Because when you were benefiting, none of them
do not make right.
But I'm saying that what is happening today, there are pockets of issues that we can speak to, but we cannot conclusively say that a certain climate of intimidation has been activated under John Mahama, and they are going about chasing and arresting people. It is not true. And again, some of the comments these people are making, some do they not have national security implications? For a young lady who doesn't even know his left from her right, to sit on TV and be threatening a sitting president, which serious republic will sit aloof and watch some of these things? And I'm telling you, these people feel energized because they have a shadow sponsor. And the shadow sponsor for this thing is Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. Because when he went to the house of the gentleman called Fancy Comedy, then it sort of brought some sort of energy within some of their folks. And since then, look at the bastardization and the insult going on. As a state, something needs to be done to curtail some of this emerging nonsense, because if you allow these things to fester, then it is the authority of the state that will be brought down. You understand?
She's 26 years old.
How many years old?
26. Granted a bill now by the court.
Yes, because they have a shadow sponsor. When it comes,
I mean, why you do these things?
Because Dr. Bawumia, didn't he go to the house of the gentleman and you see
what's wrong with going? I mean, look at the time the NDC, for instance, was in opposition.
You see, Dr. Bawumia is not just any ordinary person. He was a vice president, a deputy to President Akufo Addo, supervised an era of political incompetence in the history of this particular country. Let me justify something. No, I want to make a point.
I have my own challenge.
I want to make a point. I want to make a point. With such a battered reputation, when you are presenting yourself to Ghanaians, you need to present yourself in such a way that the lost confidence will be restored. And in doing so, you first condemn these things that these guys have done first before you raise any legitimate question.
You tell me how a visit by a former vice president or a flag bearer of the NPP to one of the members of the party, his own political party, would constitute any form of
a member of your political party who has threatened a sitting president. You have every right to visit the person, but first condemn the act first. He never condemned any of them.
He has never condemned
and that is not leadership. Somebody who is seeking to take over the reins of power of this particular country as a president, you do not
but you're just making moral arguments here because there's no law.
Because it's part of it.
There's no law forcing Dr. Bawumia.
There is no law. But you see, that is I'm saying that he's coming from a background with a battered reputation.
How?
You want to sell yourself for Ghanaians to buy, you need to tell people that you have changed. Consistency is very key. Because Ghanaians are not just looking at the legal aspect. Because I've told you, Ghana is not a legal environment. The moral component of it is also
do you agree
essential.
that Abronye is not Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia?
Yes.
Do you agree that their views are different?
I definitely agree, but he's an eventual beneficiary, who somebody who benefit from all these things. So you
tell me how. Tell me how, for instance, Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia will benefit from
Abronye is doing political advocacy
on senior ministers of the gospel.
What he's doing is political advocacy. And when the MPP group went there, look at the way they were cheering him. They see him as a martyr. Some of these guys see themselves as a martyr of a certain stupid political cause, and they will do anything for it. You understand? So for me, you as a leader, that is not your portion. You caution your people. We have lost elections. Let us rebrand ourselves and resell ourselves to Ghanaians. But the only way we can succeed in doing that is to present policy alternatives that are reasonable, that are resounding, that Ghanaians can buy. Because if you look at it,
but that's your claim. I mean, you want to tell me that just because of what Abronye is doing, the NPP will lose 2028?
I am not saying that. But what I'm saying is that we've gotten to a point where, at this point,
yes,
the consumers of the current political enterprise, the young people, are very intelligent, very assertive, very critical. This 1990 playbook where you'll be making a lot of noise, going about shouting, these young guys don't buy that nonsense anymore. They want to look at the policy options. What do you have for me? The government, what are the initiatives? The economy, what state was it left? Where is the economy now? These are the key issues the average Ghanaian. Yes, there are those who are still lost to that arena of political disinformation. There are people who still serve those political, this sort of ethnocentric.
Abronye DC is not a mean individual within the NPP. He's a regional. Good. You're trying to create the impression that, well, this is just being done.
So I even forgot. So meaning that the gentleman is a pillar working for an enterprise called MPP.
No, yes, but I'm saying that. But when you link that to Dr. Bawumia, the views are different.
Because
to see him as also a leading member.
Yes, a leading member of the MPP fighting for the same cause, and the ultimate leader of that particular cause is Mahamadu Bawumia. And if you see your original chairman sitting on TV making such unsavory comments, insulting people, going wayward, you need to caution him that the MPP used to be a political party which was tagged the party of elite, but in recent times that tag is gone. It has faded into obscurity. Because when you have the likes of Abronye and others taking the center stage all over insulting people, I have always believed in politics where decency must always take the center stage. It's a contest of ideas. What do you have to say? What do I have to say? But back to this whole thing that is going on. You see, I've always argued that he who comes into equity must always come with a clean hand. Sitting here, yourself and Solo, we can condemn anything that is unkindly happening under John Mahama, under the guise of whatever free speech or whatever. But the thing is that the very people who are talking today, these people celebrated some of these things under them. Ahmed Swale was killed. Why was he killed? Because they took up issues of corruption in this particular country. Anas was demonized, he was bastardized, he was insulted. The name Anas no longer rang bells in the ears of, after Akufo Addo making a sacred promise to the people of this country. When I come, I'm going to use the Anas principle to fight corruption. Anas was bastardized, demonized. Anas no longer find interest in Ghana politics anymore. And there are a catalog of individuals. You've forgotten about Kaka.
Yeah.
Gentleman who went to the police station to report that his life was under threat. The gentleman got killed. I don't know what happened. So at the time, Dr. Bawumia was in China. He didn't hear any of these things. He never condemned. You see, these are people wearing a big badge of hypocrisy. That's what I'm telling you.
So
no, don't say so. These are people wearing a big badge.
My point is that Abronye is not the first person to have done this, is it?
No, I'm saying
all the political parties.
They do. But you see, the leadership must not move in to run cover for these individuals. You understand?
Give me evidence of how Dr. Bawumia has covered Abronye.
But the press conference, the love letter he wrote, the love letter he recently wrote, did you see any condemnation in that particular
letter? The man is saying that free speech is under siege in the country.
And I'm saying that is a manufactured nonsense nonsense that has been exaggerated, selling to feeble minds. I'm saying that there is no indication that free speech is under attack in this country.
So Blessed, very important. I mean, we must use data to even dispel some of the seriousness. In 2022, World Press Freedom placed Ghana at the 60th position. That when it took us among Committee of Nations, our position in terms of freedom of speech was 60th. 2023, we moved up to 62nd. You understand? 2024, it came down to what? 50th. And then 2025, it went up to 52nd. Currently, it is 39th.
Significant improvement.
So on what basis would anybody say, based on this data, knowing this data, Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia has been saying that he's a better person.
Data, when you bring that data, and I recall putting him before Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the party, he says, well, that survey is not as recent as what is happening.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, because obviously if you're doing a research, you're ending somewhere in 2025.
No, even if it's 2020,
things are happening now.
It makes it matter worse. It makes it matter worse because you see, in 2024, that we placed 50th. You understand? 2025, we placed 52nd. Meaning that the 2025, his own logic, it was a leftover effect of what they did that culminated in we moving up. You understand? So it means this administration.
But whatever the case, his argument is that if you look at what's happening now, if you shoot up.
What is he going to shoot up?
People are referring to, for instance, the incidents flagged by Media Foundation.
Which Media Foundation?
That the arrests are increasing.
Which arrest?
You've heard.
Which arrest? Don't allow people to get away with a lot of unseriousness. Which arrest? One day, Julobi demonstration. 50 people were arrested in this country.
One day you will also be picked up.
I don't have a problem being picked up.
One day you will be picked up.
No. Let me tell you something.
Pastor has been doing this thing.
Let me tell you something. I don't have a problem.
Reckless.
If you pick me wrongfully, I will sue this. I will make a lot of money from it. I will make a lot of money. But what I'm saying is
you will be picked up too. If you pick Abronye, you do.
Abronye, first of all, in the first instance that he was picked, remember he was granted bail. People easily forget about this. He was granted bail by the very court that they are bastardizing. Now, Afenyo was saying that the judge did not speak any law. The judge based his decision on what? Section 96, 5C.
You have that with you.
I mean, if you give me some few minutes, I can guess. But I mean, consequently, the Section 96, 5C has conditions that one can be denied the bill.
The fact that they feel that he may commit further.
Absolutely. So if Afenyo has a problem, then the problem has to do with the law. So if you have any problem, then let's go and then amend the law. But you cannot criticize the judge who is applying the law.
So let me help you. You see the hypocrisy? There are a lot of people who have been reminded to prison.
They are still there. They are still there.
Pending the ongoing trial.
But people don't speak on their behalf.
Worried about Abronye, equally, you must be worried. I focus. Brother, what?
Gregory.
Yes, Gregory.
How many years was he behind bars?
Oh, but you know his case was different.
My goodness.
It wasn't different.
Total political persecution. Even that one we live like, they persecuted people in this country. You remember the National Security Minister there?
Let us be honest.
The first person to have called the Supreme Court of this country, unanimous FC, was a sitting minister, the National Security Minister, Kandapa, who was saying that, look, you have to balance your rulings. Because we are going one-sided all the time. We live with this. The very party who are complaining about free speech. You remember when they entered the studios of UTV to go and attack people who are doing live show? We live with that.
So I'm telling you, that two wrongs do not make.
Which one is the wrong?
If you're keeping someone for that long, the feeling of the MPP that you shouldn't be doing
so
that.
My argument has always been that if what took place, what happened to Abronye was wrong, he had lawyers who knew the law or who knows the law that could have used a very legal provision to go to the appellate body to get that decision overturned. Instead, lawyers were rather doing press conferences. Do lawyers fight their battles?
It's part of the democratic
Which one
process.
is the party?
You go out to the people, tell the people what you're not happy with. That is the.
But when you have the tools to go and overturn it, what would the press conference do? As a lawyer, the moment you see lawyers rather trying their cases in the open media, they don't have any case.
Did you have personal issues with Abronye?
I cannot have any personal issues with a human being.
Then why wouldn't
I have issues with the way and manner he himself, as has been exhibited by the MPP itself, when they were running away from his utterances. How can, for instance, can you say
that one that was during the primaries?
No, it was issued on the 30th of June 2025.
Okay, but it was a heated process, you know.
Which one was a heated process?
The issues he has with someone.
So what issue did he have with the current president by calling him an animal? I mean, we have tolerated it. His own party member, Dr. Richard Anane, he took him to the cleanest. We live with this in this country. So what is making anybody think that we are discussing it? By the way, how many communicators that the NPP have and how many of them have been apprehended? We sat here last 2 weeks. You and I innocent. Where I criticize that the police going after the guy that mounted the Dunzo, what do you call it, platform, the one that was arrested for doing a caricature of a gay person, was needless and was useless. And I also went ahead and said that we must take politics out of it and go after the institution. We must get the Ghana Police Service to be explaining to us why they effected those arrests and whether or not you were right. And that I was even admonishing those that were arrested wrongfully to sue the police administration. That is what civilized societies do. Not to be ranting and creating the impression, and when they do, they get
in the bail conditions, and I'll come to you.
Yes.
In the bail conditions, they seem to have a problem.
So if you are discussing bail conditions, these are matters that we can take it up. You understand? But you see, there comes a problem that also have with the National Peace Council. The statement that they issued. You want to, as it were, assure peace in this country. Peace is not absence of war. Peace is not that an institution will remain neutral. Peace is looking straight into the face of Blessed and say, Blessed, you are wrong.
You are wrong, yes.
It settles matters. Now you know the Peace Council has sat in this country, they have been in this country, where Abronye took one of their members. Remember the composition of Peace Council includes the National Christian Council of Ghana.
Yeah, right.
One of your members, Archbishop Duncan Williams, was taken to the cleanest for no wrongful act. You sat down, did not issue any statement. Now you want to issue is, oh, you are going to speak to both parties to. No, you don't do that. You are not solving problem. Look straight into the face of Abronye and say you are misbehaving.
So you are telling Abronye.
Salam Mustafa, that young man was able to threaten an entire country. He has gone back to his house to go and eat and sleep. My goodness, what sort of country are we building? Now you want people to gaslight us?
But Solo, you know that Salam is one of the leading figures.
What is leading? Who is he leading? What did he lead? Young man, they gave you an opportunity as a youth organizer of a party that was in power. You took them to opposition. The party had about 38.2%. You will not go and sit and take introspection. Why I misled the group? You are there throwing tantrums. When there is any hey, we need survive. You run away, the first person to run away. You understand? We must not allow them to get away with some of these. Nanabi and Co. Nanabi that slapped Sammy Gyamfi in a live studio went to the police service and he was threatening. I mean, come on, are we kidding? He. When Mensa Thompson, what is here? Arrest Mensa Thompson for what?
Arrest Mensa Thompson for fake news publication. And
you understand?
What's the source of this story?
No, is
this a real story?
It's a real story. And based on that, Mensa Thompson was fake. For writing on so the story is in that.
So what's your source?
You can check the source. I mean, the source is in there.
Maybe you are just.
I cannot fake anything. Nabi himself knows that he caused the arrest of Mensa Thompson. For Mensa Thompson writing on his Facebook wall that President Akufo Addo's daughters, together with Bounty, had flown the presidential jet to London to go and shop. The guy was arrested. And that arrest, it was what Nanabi that asked the state to go after him. But
Nanabi is not the police service.
So now we are coming home. You see, I deliberately said that Nanabi calls. You say what? That Nanabi is the police service. And that is why I keep telling you that let's take out the politics of it. Let's go after the institution and find out. And I'm saying that if you are arrested as a Ghanaian unlawfully, use the laws of the land to take the institution on. The Julobi, those that took the institution on, have they not been granted or have they not been awarded costs?
Yeah, they have.
Absolutely, that is what you do. You don't allow institutions to get away with impunity. You get my point. But Abronye's situation is a totally different situation. And I'm saying that the substantive matter will be dealt with in court. That one, it is for his lawyers to argue it out and go free. But nobody must hide under the banner of it's free speech, so that a political party like the New Patriotic Party will try and create a situation where there is none.
You are doing this today, and the warning from the MPP is that when you also have your issue, nobody would speak for you.
No, let me tell you, we have been in this. I told my story last time on Joy News. I told them that, look, I was a campaign manager for Vicky Bright, you understand? Within MPP itself, people deliberately edited my voice and said I had threatened to kill a constituency chairman called Azula. I'm in the Okakwe South constituency. Now they took this matter to call the police. They were in cahoots with the police. I knew it. I saw it. From there, they took me to a particular judge, in my Akaneshi magistrate. They were fast-tracking to get me in prison. I laughed. I said, well, I will not make it a political news. My lawyer, I told him, like, look, just allow the
process to work. That's what you did?
Yeah, so when they were about ruling, we filed certain processes and then went to the Supreme Court, the Appellate Court, and filed certiorari to quash it up. They used the legal regime to deal with the matter. At the end, the judge had to run away from the matter. So when they see that you yourself, you are afraid of the system, use the system. It's the reason why you have the lower court, the magistrate, to the Supreme Court.
This is a politically exposed person, and Abronye is
everyone is a politically exposed person. Everyone is a politician in this country. Don't let anybody. What makes him special? What makes me special?
He's a regional.
Regional what? That's how come. That's how low the NPP has descended to make Abronye your regional chairman. What is there for people to learn from him? The insult. That's how you build a region with such a character? No way.
But he was there. He was so that you were in the NPP.
Yeah, but I have never liked his politics. I have never liked his politics. Look, he and Wontumi, they are the first people to have recorded. I mean, this is an immediate press release from the New Petroleum Party.
From the NPP?
Yes, for the first time, the party.
Where are you getting these documents from? To be sure it's not
no, they themselves have been issuing it and it's all over the place.
Okay, so you printed this online?
Yes. This release, they were distancing themselves from Abronye and Wontumi for their utterances. This is the party. First, they distanced themselves from Abronye alone. Later, they came to distance themselves from Wontumi and Abronye because they themselves know that they are not defending the integrity of the party in the open. And so why must you be worried? Look, Abronye, one day, I mean, unfortunately for him, all the things that he's doing is captured on the internet. His children will grow up and come and learn that our father was always being arrested. What did our father do? Play some of the videos.
No, but we can't.
Whether or not, why can't you play? Let's play just one of it.
No.
Just the one that he was taking the Archbishop to the cleaners. Whether his children will grow to appreciate, to love what their father did. He destroyed himself. If he doesn't know, he is killing his political. If he has any political future, as a matter of fact,
he could become the chairperson of the NPP.
But the NPP service collapsed. So if he becomes the chair of a collapsed party, why would I have a problem?
Why are you saying that?
Look, go to Sawan.
Party you belong to?
But hey, why did you say I belong to
the I mean, come on.
I'm a member of the United Party and I'll continue to be a member of the United Party.
No.
But the United Party is the mother party and not the NPP. The NPP was a creature afterwards. So if anybody wants to learn any serious thing, that is why we.
That's where you are coming from, Solo. That's your root.
That's why we are saying that we are UP plus. The UP plus is to take away all the negativities in the past.
Okay.
And make sure that the right thing is done.
Ivan, and these documents I've not verified, but it appears that some members of the NPP have issues with even the individual in question.
Okay. Yeah, it's true because he has been going on this useless campaign for quite a long time, and I think they should have cautioned him because that old playbook doesn't work now. That political playbook of going about throwing aggression laced with ignorance and thinking that you can use it to prevail on the on the emotions of the people, those kind of politics don't work anymore. You need to adduce reasonable arguments that will convince the average and ordinary person to know that we have lost elections. These are the options that we have as an alternative. And if you vote for us, this is what you get. And you can equally hold the government accountable based on policy and other options that is being implemented. That is the role of a responsible opposition party. Okay. And if you lose political power, in a manner that the NPP lost, a very shameful fashion.
Why are you making this about?
No. It's very, very key.
Why is it not about the individual
No. So when you come out of such a defeat, you need to rebrand yourself. Because
and that's the problem I've had with you and Solo this morning. You are attaching this to a political outcome.
Because what you're doing is a political discussion.
Of course.
You understand? So after such a defeat, you need to rebrand yourself because there is a gulf now.
Comments got to do with any election or
this is a party that is supposed to put intellectuals forward to argue the position of the party out, because MPP is an essential element of our democratic framework. You cannot discount the MPP. Their role is very essential. You understand? So you need to bring forward intellectual minds who will provoke arguments that will bring a lot of people on board. But you see, I've been telling people that no political party in this country has the numbers to win elections in this country. So you must always target the people in the middle, the so-called neutrals or the floating voters. And most of them are intellectuals. You understand?
Yes.
So in communicating to these people, you need actually minds that are mature to be able to convince these people. But if you go berserk, going about insulting with this aggression list, with ignorance.
But this is just one man in
No, he's not.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.